Okay, so I got the truck fully back together. I didn't get to work on as much as I wanted to this week because of work, but basically last night I got most of it together. I actually got it figured out that Sunday, the day before I posted the video of why the truck wouldn't crank. So I had two relays up here. One was for the fog lights, and then one was for the neutral safety switch coming from the shifter. So basically what was happening is I tapped in everything under the fuse box to key on power because I wanted the shifter and everything in the shifter to come on with key on power. What I failed to think about is that every time you hit the starter in this truck, it pulls power from the fuse box. So everything turns off in the fuse box to allow full amperage to start, which is complete crap. But it is what it is. I guess if you're running a grid heater, 2 batteries in cold weather, you need all the amperage you can to start. Well, I don't have a grid heater. I don't even have a second battery, blah, blah, blah. Don't really need it. So it took me a while to figure that out until I got that multimeter out and was checking this relay and doing some research and figuring out the wiring diagram. Then I got my buddy Ben to send me the wiring diagram to confirm everything I was seeing. I could make the truck start. I made this little jumper here, and I knew exactly what it would do, and I could get the starter to have power. So I knew that it was something with that neutral safety. I tried wiring it underneath the truck different ways, but anyways, that is what was keeping it from starting. So the interior is a mess. I've just got it kind of rigged right now. I ordered some more switches from Australia to match the other billet buttons that are in there. So as soon as I get those in, I can finish wiring the inside, and I'm gonna go show it here in just a second. But I got everything cleaned up here. I'm happy the way it turned out. Looks good. I still have the fender wells out so I can make sure it's not leaking or anything before I put those back in. Okay, so here's the interior. I've got it a mess since I had to order new switches. I went ahead and ordered me a reverse light switch to match the rest of the switches over here. So those are those 2 wires. You basically just send power. I forget the exact pin number, but I think it's like 3. No, it's not 3. I think it's pin 4. You send just 12 volt power to it. It'll activate your reverse lights. And if you want, you can actually pull power from the neutral safety switch, the 5-pin ones. I chose just to pull power up here so I didn't have to run an extra wire. And I've got all this jumbled mess down here, and that's what I'm keeping constant power to my shifter with. So, and it's gonna look a lot better. I'm just waiting to clean that up. And I got a little secret switch that's going in down there. But other than that, everything is 100% ready to go on the inside. It's just doesn't look the greatest, and I'll put the bottom piece in there later once I get this. So that's what I did with the factory harness. Wire loom where the neutral safety switch was, and it is confirmed. You do ground pin 6, I believe. It's the furthest one on the right, and I can put a picture up of the pins and what they do, but that's what you do. You ground pin 6 and it will start in any gear on the 5 pins. But as you can see, the drive shaft's in, the drive shaft loop is in, it's all tied together, hopefully ready to rock and roll. Here you can see my lines. The reason I tucked those way up there against the cab, shouldn't have any problem with anything, I don't think. I still need to get that fitting. Everything's looking good. Ready to get her cranked here in just a second. Everything should be perfectly fine. Got the fuel pump plugged back in. Got the rear drive shaft loop. My big drive shafts from Texas Drive Shaft Specialist. And like you've seen before, the air dog, and it's back plugged in. There's a kind of shot of all the lines in their final position. So, fixing to set it down, wash my hands, and give her a start. So I drove the truck a little bit yesterday, just eased it around. It's been raining outside, so I just wanted to make sure the trans shifted properly, and it does. The linkage is pretty much adjusted, but I had no overdrive. So this morning I got up, figured it out. It was just a wire had come loose from where I put the plugs underneath the shifter, where you could actually just take the shifter out without cutting wires. It just came loose. Basically I just pushed the wire back in the connector, tighten it back down. But as you can see, loading a tune in it. I don't know what tune I had in there before. I think it was a really old one. So as I was going on before my little tablet here froze and screwed my tune up, erased the file in the truck, and did some random stuff. I ended up having to load the stock file back in to get it going, but we're loading another file in. I really didn't like that file. I forgot I loaded a small horsepower one in, and I just don't like that one. So I'm just going to go back and just control it with my right foot basically. But I am running HP tuners. I'm running the Pro version just in case I want to ever either tune a gas vehicle or add EGT sensors or whatever in, so I can data log on here. Now I pretty much come up with it on my own, but I get asked a lot of questions on HP tuners, and it really depends on who you're getting your actual files from, you know, on what you data log, what you want to see. I mean, myself, I've set it up different profiles and things so I can look at it and see what I want to see, but that's pretty much it. I have drove this thing around for a little bit. It drives really good, really good. I'm happy with the shifter. Still learning. Like I said, I had the problem with overdrive, but got that resolved. Little simple issue, just a wire come out, and I still got to fix this wiring down here, but it will all come together this week. I'm probably going to take it out tomorrow and probably end up putting the GoPro on the back glass just for the shifter, see how it shifts, and give a nice little in-cab view. But so far the precision shifter is fun. That's all I can say. It's gonna be fun on the street. The other thing I'm working on, pulled my old spare 6.7 motor out of the back of the corner of the shop here. That's why I had to get the truck out. I know it's raining outside, but had to get the white truck out of here. I needed room to work on this motor. I've actually made a decision on a new motor, so this one's got to go in as a core. So basically what I'm trying to do is I'm going to pull this the timing cover back plate off, which you got to pull the cam, so I can get that powder coated and take with this motor powder coated so I can have it to put on the new motor. So I got this one working on it. As you can see, there's where your oil pump goes, crank gear, cam gear. Here's the CP3 gear, which would go like that, and there's the two oil pump gears. I'll just do a quick walk around to this. I got my flex plate on it because I need to roll it around, get it to TDC, so I know exactly what I'm messing with here when I put the cam back in, because I still need to go get my 1/2-inch dowels to put in here. So the last thing I'm buttoning up here on the spare motor, I finally went and got me some 1/2-inch dowel rods so I could hold all the tappets up. Pulled that cover, well, I pulled the cam so I could pull that cover to send a powder coat first thing Monday morning here, so I can have it powder coated to go on the new motor. But I left the last dowel rod in just because I was going to kind of show, because I actually cut these down a little too much. So I put too much taper on it the first time, and they definitely didn't work. So I ended up cutting them. I knew I had plenty of length, but you can kind of see there how much taper you actually need to put on them. But there's my dowel rods. Fixing to move the motor out the way here and get ready to put the truck back in the shop for this week and load the motor next weekend. Switches from Australia. paint job. So he'll like laser engrave whatever you want on them. So that's like from a water injection. It's got a little water pump. Like my light bar over here, or no, light bar's up there. For the trans fan, it's got little fans. It's trans fan. I got another one coming down here. That's why this bottom piece is out, because I screwed up wiring it to start. Because you're technically supposed to start if this thing's in park or neutral.
Yeah.
The way I wired it, and I wasn't thinking when I wired it, the truck pulls power from the fuse panel, and I had it wired key on to the fuse panel. So every time you hit the starter, it actually pulled power from the damn shifter until it not to start. And it drove me up the wall last weekend. I probably spent 5 hours tracing wires. It was nuts. Physically got to come over here and hit overdrive. I got the steering wheel a little out of whack. That was where I scared the shit out of my dad one day. He was sitting over there texting on his damn phone. There wasn't nobody coming just like then. I just laid into it. My lockup switch used to be right here, and I hit it, and that other trans would do that too. Except it shifted into overdrive by itself, so I could focus on driving. And I could hold them pretty good.
No. Big ass heavy 5'9" coming.
It's retarded. Look, it is straight up retarded.
Yeah.
Nothing this big should be